This week's Bee Rescue Wellness Show. I am your host, the lovable Mo Wolf. I'd say fuzzy and lovable, but I'm a little sparse. I'm more like an anemic catfish when I grow out my beard, and so that's why I am not participating in the annual Movember, which is odd considering my name. My cup, courtesy of Tivana. I purchased it a while back. I know it should have a bee on it. I'm a bee guy, but dragonfly was as close as they could get, so I enjoy it. Besides, the dragonfly is an amazing creature. What's going on this week? We've got new discoveries in medicine taking place. We've got all kinds of fanciful and wild things going on. Look at this stack. Look at this stack, all for a 30-minute webcast. We have testosterone treatments linked with risks of heart problems and deaths. Well, why is that significant? If you have been paying any attention to this webcast at all, you would know that, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, we spoke about the dangers, the inherent dangers of testosterone treatments, i.e. in anabolic steroids. And it's not just for pumping you up, it's for making you feel leaner and meaner when you're reaching that midlife crisis. And so they've got these gels that you put in your underarms and on your head and where the sun don't shine. And they've got pills, they've got all kinds of stuff. But the point is, there's some really interesting research that's been done to really bear out all of the things that we've had to say. We've got a new discovery in the world of anatomy, and we also have the second leading cause of disability in the world. That's second leading cause of disability in the world. That's pretty amazing. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today, and it's been a week, has it not? Happy Friday to you! It is Fantastic Friday, or if you're some 1970s singer from, I think he was from Ireland, Van Morrison. I might be showing my ignorance, I do that a lot. If you're Van Morrison, happy Fantabulous Friday. Drinking my tea out of my Tivana cup. Drinking my tea given to me by my dear friend, Dr. Zhou from China. Wonderful tea, by the way. So let's start off. Let's start off talking about that whole testosterone issue, that whole anabolics issue. Testosterone treatments linked with risks of heart problems and deaths. Men with signs of heart problems, and this is by Live Science, okay? This is by livescience.com, published on November the 6th of 2016. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't tell us who wrote the bloomin' article. Doesn't tell us anywhere. Anyway, men with signs of heart problems who take injections of testosterone or use gel containing the hormone may have an increased risk of heart attack or stroke, a new study finds. The findings call for more caution prescribing of testosterone, doctors say. In 2011, 5.3 million with an M prescriptions for testosterone were written in the United States. Testosterone therapy is often prescribed to men in order to counteract the age-related decline in hormone and improve sex drive, bone density, and muscle mass. But the benefits and risks of long-term use of testosterone therapy are not known. So why are these guys taking it? Why are these guys going and taking testosterone-enhancing supplements? I'll tell you why. Because they get to a point in their lives where they're feeling sluggish, they're tired, they're just not functioning like they thought they should. They don't feel like they did when they were 18, 20, or 30. Their sexual performance may be lacking. They may be putting on belly fat. See this shirt? This shirt makes me look like I'm a healthy adult with what do they call that? Muffin? Mr. Sadler, do they call that muffin cake? I don't know. I don't. I'm built like a tapeworm. And now everybody's saying, maybe this little runt should be on anabolics. No, thank you. I'll pass. So you've got these middle-aged fellows that are feeling sluggish. They're not thinking they look like they should for their age. Maybe they're looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, "Oh, I've got old man armpits. What am I going to do?" Well, the obvious answer would be, "Oh, I don't know, change your diet and exercise a little bit." But I don't have time. I don't have time to go to a gym. I don't want to go to a gym. I don't want to run. No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't like running either. I don't like running unless I'm being chased. Never did. And then if whatever was chasing me had to go through a threat analysis before I decided if I wanted to run. Did it look like Rosie O'Donnell? Then I'm running. Opposite direction. So you got these guys that are upset because they're not feeling like they should. They're not looking like they should. And so they're using this legitimate therapy for certain conditions, and they're applying it across the board in a way that it was never intended to be. And what they're finding is with these anabolics is what essentially they work out to. They increase the lipids in the blood. They increase all kinds of problems with the blood and the heart. And up until now, nobody's really done a serious study. It's just been more anecdotal. And we're an evidence-based society. Well, evidence meaning we've got to have some spreadsheet with numbers on it, as opposed to these professional wrestlers that have been soaking in this garbage for decades are all dying at 30, 35 years old. They may look like a bull elephant. They may have the brains of a... Well, no, I think bull elephants are a lot smarter. Wouldn't you say that, Mr. Sadler? Now I'm going to have professional wrestlers showing up at my door and hitting me with chairs. It's okay. I'll wear a helmet. At any rate, you've got this quick, easy fix. And we're a society of quick, easy fixes. And unfortunately, some of these health problems that have been brewing for years, like this sluggish feeling, this belly fat, this, not looking like you once did, not looking as fit as you once did. These are a bit more chronic than what a pill should be used to fix. And so you've got a lazy society wanting a quick way out, wanting a magic bullet. But there are ways around this. There are ways around that problem. I mentioned exercise. I mentioned the excuse. I don't have time to exercise. I got to get to work in the morning. I come home at night. I'm too tired. Well, of course. So make it a two-pronged attack. Make it a diet and exercise. Oh, you're just making this harder on me. I know. I'm a rotten guy. I do that. But you make it a two-pronged attack. Let me show you something. I've shown you the Be Energized raw bee pollen in the past in their container. Well, this is the size container that I get. It's a bulk pack. I get the bulk 5-pound bags and I fill it up in my bale jar. And my bale jar sits on my desk. And I just dumped a bunch. And throughout the day, I'm eating that pollen. Wow, that's good. I'm eating that pollen throughout the day. And I'm eating it for stamina, for strength, for energy, for brain food, for the omega-3s, for protein. I'm eating it to boost immune system. I mean, look at me. I'm a runty little guy. I have a weakened immune system. Very poor constitution on my body. However, when I'm taking my bee pollen and when I see this floor behind me, this is my office. Well, my other office. In the other videos you saw my office, and this is my other office, just down the hall. Beautiful place. If you're ever in Janesville, Wisconsin, and you're interested in getting a tune-up, stop by Siloam Center for Traditional Medicine. This is our office. All this floor back here. You know what I do every morning? I do Qigong. I do some Tai Chi. I do push-ups. I do planking. I do a lot of exercises for the core muscles. I rely on Qigong strength training for legs and arms. Now granted, I'm not a physical specimen. I'm not a great advertisement for bumping you up. But I will tell you this. I'm a different human being when I do my exercises and when I'm taking my pollen. The bee energized raw bee pollen combined with exercise, I don't have the adipose tissue sitting up front here. In fact, I have actually visible abdominal muscles. Rectus abdominis is actually visible. And it's not because I spend hours at the gym, it's because I spend maybe 20, 30 minutes a day working out right here in my office. Maybe not all at once even. Maybe dropping down and planking for 2 minutes at a time, 3 minutes at a time. Maybe dropping down and pushing out 50, 60 push-ups between patients or between tasking in my other office. The point is, you have the ability, you have the tools, you have everything you need to get rid of those old man armpits, to get rid of this, to get rid of these, to start feeling better. You've got everything you need to improve your stamina. This stuff right here, the raw bee pollen, a lot of history, a lot of studies, a lot of anecdotal evidence suggesting that it's fantastic for low libido. You've got a libido issue as a middle-aged guy, take your bee pollen. You got any other kind of performance issue, you've got your bee pollen. There's no excuse to be ruining your heart with all of these injections and gels and sludge and garbage and pills when we can be doing it naturally. Now, if you've watching your diet, watching your exercise, and you're still feeling lousy, don't do this yet. Maybe you should see your acupuncturist. Maybe you should see your oriental medicine. Maybe you should see your naturopath. Maybe there's some herbs that they can give you to help boost your body. Oftentimes when you're waking up sluggish in the morning and feeling like dirt, I can't get going. Oftentimes that has to do with a stomach chi deficiency or a spleen chi deficiency, depending on some of the other accompanying symptoms. So by regular acupuncture, by some herbal supplements, we can boost the energies of those organs and make you feel better. And you're doing it with medicine that's been proven through thousands of years, as opposed to some sludge that was just thought up and everyone's saying, "Woohoo, it's the magic bullet. It's going to make me look like Arnold Schwarzenegger." Have you seen Arnold lately? Have you seen him? Do you really want to look like that man? Good heavens! No, thank you. My dragonfly. Next up, we've wasted enough time talking about anabolics. Next up, surgeons, C-U-R-G-I-N. Surgeons discover new ligament in the human knee. This has been all over the internet. I picked it up off of Fox News. Fox News Health. The human knee has more components than previously thought. 2 Belgian knee surgeons have discovered a previously unknown ligament located in the muscles and tendons of the human knee. A part they have named the anterolateral ligament, or ALL. Isn't that a laundry soap? I think they're going to have some copyright issues with that. Some royalty issues. According to the surgeons, the ALL is present in 97% of all human knees and may play a significant role in how patients recover from anterior cruciate ligament tears, or ACL. After undergoing successful ACL repair surgeries, many patients will continue to suffer from a condition known as pivot shift, in which the knee gives way during activity. In order to better understand this strange occurrence, Dr. Stephen Clay, I'm messing up someone's name, it's tradition, it just happens. Doc Steve and Dr. Johan Belmans from University Hospital in Leuven have been conducting research into ACL tears over the past 4 years. They looked into a theory made by a French surgeon in 1879, which claimed that an unknown ligament existed in the anterior of the human knee. After conducting a broad cadaver study using macroscopic dissection techniques, Dr. Steve and Belmans found this theory to be correct. The research showed that the pivot shift occurs when there is additional injury in the ALL. The discovery, which was detailed in the Journal of Anatomy, could signal a breakthrough for future treatment of ACL injuries. What's significant about that? What's significant about that? Besides some new treatment strategies for knee injuries. Here's what blows my mind. Human beings, okay? Don't tell anybody this. We think we've got the market cornered on brains. We think that because we're living in the year 2000, we think that because we are living in a antibiotic excuse me, I'm getting myself worked up. We think that because we're living in a postmodern era that we have the market cornered on brains. We think that we know everything there is to know about everything. And that arrogance gets us in trouble in our families. That arrogance gets us in trouble in everything. And now we're finding out that a joint that we thought we knew everything about, the knee, or as my son says, the knee, he's learning to spell. All this time, all these many years of anatomy and physiology, and we've completely missed it. A ligament. We've missed some hardware that's present 97% of the time. Well, that's pretty amazing. We're not as sharp as we like to make ourselves out to be. I think it's fascinating that we're still finding out new things about the body, and I agree with some therapists and researchers who are talking about how we're just going to continue to discover more and more intricacies about the body on a micro as well as a macro level. I think one of the next big areas of discovery will probably be the whole concept of the connective tissue working together in an organ system. I think that if somebody has the hankering for some serious study, I think that would be fascinating. Are you ready? Let us move on This, as published in November 6th of 2013 on healthline.com. Depression, the second leading cause of disability worldwide. Depression. Depression can have a profound impact on a person's life, work, relationships, but a new study shows the true toll of mental health conditions on a global scale. Depression is defined as a persistent state of sadness or disinterest in things once found pleasurable. It is one of the most common mental disorders. Well, then they start talking about how they've analyzed depression around the world, and they found out that it's much more common than they thought. They found out that it's much more debilitating on a global scale than they thought. Depression is a treatable condition that I recommend be treated quickly. Very mild depression can often be resolved with cardiovascular exercise and a good support system. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Let me read it again. Depression is a treatable condition that I recommend be treated very quickly, Dobrensky said. Very mild depression can, listen now, very mild depression can often resolve with cardiovascular exercise and good support system. Failing that, seeking out a therapist and possibly medication is a smart move, as both have a good track record for depression. Actually, they don't. The therapy does. The medications really, unless you have a major depression, they don't really have a track record at all. Recent studies have shown that SSRIs are, for anything less than major depression, SSRI drugs are, well, shall we just say a major disappointment. Did you catch that, though? Mild depression can often be resolved with cardiovascular exercise. Why? Why does cardiovascular exercise help with mild depression? Well, I'll tell you. I'm so glad you asked. Here's why. Because depression, from a Chinese medical perspective, has to do with stagnation. Stagnation, and sometimes it can be deficiencies. Qi deficiencies, Qi stagnation. You don't have enough Qi energy to be moving the blood, and everything just kind of settles down. And then that Qi is no longer moving like it should, and it's, instead of going, it's going, and then it stops and it stagnates and it sits there, and you just get worse and worse and worse and worse, and that depression, that mild depression, gets more and more serious as it moves on. Well, when you do exercise, particularly the cardiovascular exercise that they are speaking of here, you're moving the Qi in the blood. You are moving stuff through your body. You're starting to get hormones to start releasing. You're starting to get endorphins to release. You're starting to get rid of that cortisol that's been coursing through your veins and making all kinds of bad things happen in the body, including inflammation. And it's a catastrophic slippery slope. And that exercise starts moving things. It starts moving the blood. It starts moving the Qi. Mr. Wolf, we do not speak in terms of Qi and blood. Too bad, it's my show. You want one? Go ahead, get your own. It's a free country. YouTube is free for now. We're speaking in terms of Qi and blood because that's what I've been trained in. Exercise starts making the heart pound. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Western medicine, that starts moving the blood supply through your body on a much quicker level. Starts forcing blood through those distal vasal capillaries and venules, and you get that vasodilation in the distal extremities. Chinese perspective. You're breathing more. You're bringing in that Da Qi. It's going into the lungs. It's mixing, and you're getting that Zheng Qi. You're getting Qi. You're getting Qi. The bottoms of your feet are pounding from doing jumping jacks or running or, I don't know, fencing. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're doing. Tennis. I can't play tennis. But that foot is slapping. You're pounding on that Jing well point from the kidney channel, starting to generate things and starting to move things. Bottom line is you're moving Qi, you're moving blood throughout the body. It's a beautiful thing. Exercise. You start moving that Qi in your blood, and you start moving that liver Qi stagnation that's been sitting there making you feel depressed. Pretty soon that liver is just a free coursing, and it's singing Beach Boys songs, and it's putting on its shades, and it's strutting down the hypochondria. And I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away. The point is, for mild depression, exercise, and sometimes even a little talk therapy along with the exercise, can deal with the mild depression alone. If it's not doing it, if it's not cutting the job, add diet. Let medicine be thy food, and food be thy medicine. Again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's this stuff, Be Pollen, Be Energized Raw Bee Pollen right here. Looky cheer, how beautiful that is. This stuff right here, carrying all of the nutrients that your body needs, all of the proteins, the vitamins, the minerals, everything. All of that helps to supply the body with what it needs to come back into balance. If after diet, after exercise, maybe a little talk therapy isn't helping you, maybe you're not getting the quite desired needs met that you need, then seek out an acupuncturist. Seek out an herbalist. Seek out a naturopath. Do whatever you need to do before you start going into the medical route, the pharmaceutical route. Not because pharmaceuticals are always bad. No, there's actually a need for them. There is actually a need for SSRI inhibitors. But it's not as widespread need as we're led to believe. Now, if you are on antidepressants, don't jump off of them. If you want to get off of them, work with your doctor, work with your therapist, work with those health professionals that are caring about you. If they don't care about you, find one that does. Because when you are on these medications and you want to try to get off of them, you put yourself at great risk. Listen to me now. You put yourself at great risk when you start messing with the dosage yourself, when you start pulling yourself off of these things. It throws the brain out of balance. It throws the chemistry in there out. And you're not thinking clearly, and people do dumb things, and that's why suicide becomes more prevalent in this population, is when they're fooling with their drugs. Don't do it. Get some help. Work with someone. We have gone a whole half hour already, haven't we? Thank you for joining me. I hope that this webcast has been a blessing to you and your family. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it's entertaining. I hope you laugh a little bit with me. You can even laugh at me. My family does. We're going to be changing our format probably next week or the following week. Going to be changing things up here. So keep watching. Things are getting better here. We'll actually have the music back on this webcast. Last week we didn't have the music, and I apologize for that. Here's to moving forward. Till next week, On behalf of all of us here at Little Honeys, be rescued and Siloam Center. Be well.